Hi guys, Kay Burley from Sky News can be a wonderful journalist at times, where she holds politicians' feet to the fire and holds them to account. But on other occasions, she can be so terrible it's beyond cringe. Now the latter was on full display when she interviewed Dale Vince, the founder of Ecotricity, Sky Diamond and the Green Britain Foundation. She questioned him about his support for the protest group Just Stop Oil and Labour's plan to drop North Sea oil and gas exploration if they get into power. Have a listen.
Have you ever discussed Just Stop Oil with Sir Keir?
I haven't.
Is there any particular reason why not?
I barely speak to him. I think I've spoken to him twice in my life, and only for a few minutes, and so that'll be the reason.
Some reports have linked your donations to Labour and Labour changing its tune on blocking new oil and gas exploration in the North Sea. Do you think there's any connection?
Before we get to his response, why is it in the media the focus here is on Just Stop Oil donations to the Labour Party or Just Stop Oil connections to the Labour Party? And there's never any focus on Russian connections to the Conservative Party or big business donating to the Conservative Party. How many millions have individuals, businesses and others given to the Conservative Party over the last number of years? And there's very little focus on that. And then you have this protest group who it seems are donating to the Labour Party, and the media, well, we need to focus on that. We need to question why this is happening. It's insane.
I don't think it's an actual true statement. Labour haven't changed their position. As I understand it, this was first mentioned at Davos last year. So I don't think it's a new direction from Labour. And look, it's not some kind of crazy left-wing idea either from me or people like me or Just Stop Oil, for example. It's a mainstream scientific opinion. It comes from the International Energy Agency, from the UN. We can't afford to burn more fossil fuels if we're going to avoid the worst of the climate crisis. That's scientific fact.
The unions, two of the biggest unions, as you know, disagree with you, particularly GMB and Unite. GMB, Gary Smith, saying it's naive and displayed a lack of intellectual rigour and thinking to suggest that the new oil and gas exploration should be stopped. What would you say in response to that suggestion by Gary Smith?
I would say that anybody that thinks that new oil and gas from the North Sea benefits us economically doesn't understand how the energy market works. During the energy crisis, we paid 10 times as much for our North Sea gas as we did pre the crisis. It didn't save us a single penny, even though half of our gas comes from the North Sea. So it doesn't matter how much more fossil fuels we produce here, it won't reduce our energy bills as the government claims. And on top...
Exactly. The oil and gas is extracted, it's sold on the international market, and then British wholesalers were buying it back from the international market. So as the price, you could extract as much as you want, but you were paying the wholesale price. This was the problem.
On top of that, this government is intending to give one of those biggest oil fields to a Norwegian state-owned company and give them a 3 billion tax cut to open it up. That company will invest just 300 million in that massive oil field. And it's years since the taxpayer of Britain had any money from the North Sea at all from oil and gas. It's naive, actually, to think that fossil fuels can make us any money or reduce our energy bills.
There you have it. So you have a foreign company being given billions of pounds to extract oil and gas from the North Sea, and then that North Sea oil and gas will be sold on the international market and British consumers will not benefit. Somebody will benefit. A large corporation will benefit. But ordinary British consumers will not. The taxpayer will not benefit from this. But it needs to be called out. But instead, the media are focusing on Just Stop Oil, a protest group. The hatred towards this group is unbelievable. But of course, there's no focus on donations to the Conservative Party, Russian donations to the Conservative Party, and these corporations who have won PPE contracts and stuff like this over the last number of years. As I said, and I joked about this on the streams and on videos before, you go to your bank, you take out a loan, they say, what's the loan for? I want to invest in my local MP, my Tory MP. Maybe it's not a great investment today, but that was the case, recently. You can buy your local MP for about £5,000 and win a lucrative contract. money has to be taken out of politics. And unfortunately, until that happens, it requires organizations to donate to political parties in order to influence policy. But it seems here this wasn't the case, as he has said. This was a decision taken before. So Labour are making a good decision here about removing the country from fossil fuels. There's no need to continue to invest in fossil fuel extraction when there should be an investment in renewables. The UK is exposed to the fluctuations in the energy market when it comes to oil and gas on the international stage. So it makes more sense to invest in renewables. You can control that as long as it's not coupled to gas prices. But once again, the focus here on Just Stop Oil, on small organisations donating to the Labour Party and ignoring the massive donations that have taken place over the last 13 years to the Conservatives. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.